Welcome back to the Power Six Podcast. Here's your host, Isaiah Rose.
All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of the Power Six Podcast. We're coming to you guys a day later because we needed more time to recoup from last week's game on Thursday. Disappointing loss for the Skurs. We got the whole crew here. I hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend, had a good time with family, wherever you did. With that being said, I'm going to pass things over to Max and get this thing rolling.
Thank you, Isaiah. Week one reaction this week. No more week zero stuff. We're on to actual big time slates now. So we reacting to week one results. There was a few surprising ones in there, a few big ones, including the unfortunate Nebraska loss, which we'll talk about. We'll look at the AP poll, tank and bank. We'll do previews, locks, dogs, predictions, all the normal stuff. But we'll start it out right out of the gate. Like I mentioned, Nebraska losing 13-10 in Minneapolis on Thursday night. They seem to have had the game won, like so many other times that we've seen over the last, decade now, especially over the last 6-7 years. And then some key turnovers. We joked before the game, when is the catastrophic mistake going to happen? It actually did happen. It happened twice, really. Now 3 times. But yeah, quick takeaways are that Jeff Sims did not look good. He's going to need to improve his efficiency. Wide receiver room, not that great. But Marcus Washington was out in the first half of that game and was back in the second half. His presence was felt. But I liked where the defense was at.
Yeah, I agree, Max. Jeff Sims is not looking like him right now. Definitely needs better decision making. My biggest takeaways from the game, Jeff Sims didn't look good. Our biggest worry was that we're going to use Jeff Sims to get most of our offensive creation, and that's what happened. But I did think our O-line looked better. I was surprised to see so much of Anthony Grant out in the field, especially when he fumbled the ball. That was a big turning point of the game. And then our receivers, I just feel like they had a tough time getting open in that Minnesota secondary. So hopefully this week we can kind of turn things around and get the ball rolling a little bit better with all our skill players.
Yeah, I would say the exact opposite point, Isaiah. I think Jeff Sims did look like him. It's been the story of his career. He's had problems with taking care of the ball, and it was obviously evident in that first game after, there was high praise that he was getting better at it. So at this point, it's where does he grow from this? And from what I've seen, it sounds like he's the last person to leave at the end of the day. And it sounds like he's really trying to figure out what he can do to help this team win some games, because he's a great asset on the ground. He has great mobility. He can really make plays happen. So if he could just learn to take care of the ball and go through his progressions, I think he could be a really solid quarterback. I was disappointed to see that our running backs were underutilized. We were preaching all offseason about getting back to the ground game and really, playing smash mouth football, and Gabe Urban got 7 carries. We saw Anthony Grant on the field the majority of the time. Saw him late in the game when he had the fumble, like you said, Isaiah, and it just kind of makes a lot of people think, what was he talking about? What was Matt Rule talking about this whole offseason? But I've had a lot of time to think on the game. I think I wasn't surprised to see Nebraska lose to Minnesota. I think Minnesota's a good football team. I don't think they're as good as they have been in years past, but I still think they're pretty good. And if they can pick up some of the errors on offense, I think the defense played really well. I think they could be a solid team this year still.
I think what differs from Nebraska right now to Minnesota is Minnesota's a good program. PJ Fleck, as much as we give him shit, he's a good coach. Their trench game is good and everything, but they know how to win games and know how to finish games. My reaction to the game, not to beat a dead horse, so I'll quickly just say Jeff Sims wasn't good. His arm sucked. But we also had some mental errors with penalties. It comes with a new staff and a new culture, I guess. But the false starts, disconcerting signals. We love that one. Saw that one a couple years ago. And then also too many men in the huddle. It wasn't a lot of yards, but it was 7 penalties for 55 yards. But just those like little mental errors we can't continue to have.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nebraska cut down on the penalties, but they were just in such crucial moments of the game. You know, they had a great play to get up against the goal line and they tried to go hurry up and ended up having a false start, which pushed them back 5 more yards, which ultimately led to, you know, Gabe Ervin being short. Was he not short? We don't know. And them walking away with 0 points. It's the crunch time penalties that really killed us.
Yeah. Well, that false start, it led to Jeff Sims' interception, which was
right
an awful decision.
He made a terrible read on that play.
Terrible read. I mean,
Borger's wide open.
Borger was wide open, and on top of that, it was a bitch pass. It was a soft lob up that Minnesota could easily just grab. So I wasn't impressed with Jeff, and he needs to be better, and we need to be cleaner on offense for sure moving forward.
I agree. One thing I noticed, I don't think we had a single holding penalty in that game for the offensive line, which I thought was huge. O-line definitely looked better. Those false starts, like we said, in crunch time definitely killed us. You know, there's probably 14 points left out there on the field just because of those 2 penalties in crunch time. Overall, I think the defense played very well. Nate or Nash Hutmacher, that dude is a freaking beast. He's a big dude. He can get to the quarterback. He put a lot of pressure on Callie McManus, and I'm excited to see more of him, especially coming up to this Colorado game. Just see how the defense compares, you know, after playing Minnesota.
Yeah, I loved what I saw from the defense. That felt like the first game maybe of my life where I don't think we complained about missed tackles once in that entire game. Those boys were hitting hard. They were flying around tackling. I remember the week before that they asked Isaac Gifford in a press conference if that was the most hitting and tackling they've ever done in a fall camp, and he said, "Oh yeah, by far." And I think it showed because they were solid tackling. They were fast. We held Minnesota to 55 rush yards, 2.2 yards a carry. That just doesn't happen to Minnesota. You shouldn't lose that game. We had 181 yards on the ground. You know, Big Ten West football, rush yards is usually the score of the game, but when we have 4 turnovers to only 1, that's what's going to happen. You know, we gave up 13 points, but a touchdown and a field goal, 10 of that was when we turned the ball over at midfield. Otherwise, in normal circumstances, our offense gave up 3 points. Defense gave up 3 points. Offense should have had a touchdown at the end of the half. Yeah, I would have liked them to have also rode Gabe Ervin a little bit more. I want to just see him be the guy, the number 1 guy. Would have been nice. Special teams also vastly improved.
Yeah, I was gonna comment. The special teams looked really good. Our kick return coverage, I don't think they got past like the 25 the entire game. Punting looked really good. Bushini's got a freaking leg. And then also our kick return game seems like it's improved leaps and bounds, especially to come out in that second half after, you know, throwing an interception where we almost had a touchdown. To respond that way, that was huge.
I think that goes into the mindset that they're not going to be fair catching any kick returns this season, is what Matt Rule says. So I think it kind of gets the guys, you know, into the mindset that we're gonna go on this kick return. It's not just like a play off. And yeah, it really just came down to the little things. You know, Isaac Gifford dropping an easy interception in the end zone that could have sealed the deal. There were multiple different things that happened throughout that game that you could look back on and say, man, if Nebraska just converts 1 or 2 more plays, like they walk away with a win. And I would love to just see them play a complete game, because other than a Nebraska blowout, those close games, you sit there the whole time thinking, how are we going to find a way to lose this?
Yep, I thought that in the entire time. You know, after the 12, it was 12 minutes left in the game and we threw 3 pass plays in a row and we took off maybe 30 seconds on the clock. I knew at some point, I'm like, what are we going to do to lose this games for ourselves? Like, Minnesota's not going to win this game without us giving the ball to them. And that's exactly what happened. So it's the same story, the past couple 2 or 3 years that we've seen. I still think this team has potential to not play like that every week. Jeff Sims, if he gets through his progressions, makes some better smart decisions throwing the ball. This is a completely different team. That's a completely different ball game.
Yeah, man. I've been saying it for the last week. It looked like the same movie but a different director. So I hope it changes, and I think it will.
Yeah, I think it will as well. We saw the ingredients there for what looked to be a better Nebraska team under Matt Rule than we've seen over the past 5 years. So if they can just not shoot themselves in the foot and they can just learn how to win a damn game, then that might sort of release the dam of close wins, maybe, instead of everything being close losses.
Opens up the floodgate.
Yeah.
Opens up the floodgate.
But anyway, I think we got everything out regarding that game. And what's up, Headley?
I'd like to do a PSA really quick. I got a text from Jared during the game on Thursday, and he bet on Nebraska because we all said Nebraska was going to win. First of all, Jared, you're a dumbass. We always pick Nebraska to win, no matter what. I think we had people pick Nebraska over Michigan last year. Jared, do not come to us to pick games. That's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Asking us who's going to win a football game is like asking us the Keno numbers. We don't know.
Hey, he should have
We
asked
all thought Colorado was going to win 2 games this year.
Everyone thought that.
I think everyone in the country thought that.
I'll stand on the hill. I thought it was gonna go 1-11.
I think it's still a possibility.
I mean, it's still in the realm. I mean,
TCU is not a good football team.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that later. Too.
Yep,
we will get into that.
Hey, I did listen to Colorado radio today just to hear the pulse of Boulder. They genuinely think they're playing for natties this year. They think that they have college football playoff in the bag right now. Just put that.
They do. So does the rest of the media, and it's actually really laughable. But again, we will get into that. The Dion Nick Saban comparisons are actually out there. If you want to look for them, you can find them.
That's insane.
It's the overreaction to Colorado is insane right now. But
they sound like us right after Scott Frost got hired at Nebraska.
Yeah, and we see how that turned out.
Yeah. But Dion is dude. I wasn't at Dion's post game conference, and I'm like, how is this guy ever going to lose? He does get you fired up.
Yeah, he does.
The guy gets you fired up. It's scary.
We will get into that.
If Dion told Boulder to kill us on Saturday, they will kill us. They're going to kill us.
Like literally kill?
No. If Dion's like, hey, fans, I need you to shank all Husker fans that go in the stadium, I think they're doing it.
Yeah, probably.
He is God to Colorado right now.
We can start off with our reaction to that game. In fact, I just have a couple games bolded, but we might work through a couple more than that. But Colorado beats TCU 45-42 in Fort Worth, Texas at TCU, 11 a.m., big noon. Shocking result. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think it's funny Colorado goes and schedules a cupcake week 1. That's laughable.
Honestly, I don't think TCU is as good as people were thinking they were going to be this year. They returned 1 starter on defense. Their defense just looked like a child's play out there. And one of their defensive players even acknowledged that in a press conference. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but a reporter asked him, is this loss to Colorado a wake-up call for you guys? And his response was, I mean, I guess you could call it a wake-up call, but losing by 60 in the national championship game is almost just as much of a wake-up call. And he called themselves the laughingstock of college football. I don't think TCU is going to be a good football team this year. I think their offense looked good because Colorado's defense is not that good. It was just the hype that it was the runner-up. Colorado played the runner-up and beat the runner-up, but the runner-up got absolutely destroyed in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why there's all the hype with all the Colorado fans is like, hey, we beat the runner-up from last year. Like Devin said, they got one returning starter on the whole team, and he's on the defense. I think they
Is
were
that true?
They returned a few players on offense. I think
On
they
offense?
returned like 4 or 5 on offense.
They returned 3 on offense. They returned more than 1 on defense.
I thought
I
it was
heard
just
today
a
One
returned-
starter.
they
I think
returned
they returned
7.
one starter.
I think offense is where they were kind of decimated. I think defense. I mean, the whole point I was going to bring up is they returned like, I genuinely think they returned more than 1 on defense. I believe that to be the case. But their defense was not good last year. They might have made it to the national championship game as runner-up, but last year's TCU defense was 91st in the country in scoring defense, 95th in the country in total defense, 80th in yards per play, 80th in rushing defense, 97th in pass defense, 115th in the country in explosive pass defense. And that's exactly what we saw Colorado do. I don't know. When I read those stats out loud, it's actually like, how did that team make it to the national championship game? Well, they won 7 games by 1 score, and they won another 3 games by just 10 points. They weren't dominant, but they were clutch. And they had the number 9th ranked offense in the country that they lost everyone. That TCU offense, they lost their Heisman runner-up quarterback. They lost their top 2 running backs, top 3 wide receivers, and top 2 offensive linemen. All of that is 6 first-team all-conference players gone. They lost their offensive coordinator, Garrett Riley, brother of Lincoln Riley, gone. And they still put up 541 yards of offense, 279 passing, 262 on the ground at 7.1 yards per carry. This team is going to suck this year. Their defense already sucked last year, and Colorado won that game by 3 points.
Imagine if Colorado had to start the season with a Big Ten West juggernaut. I don't think the hype would be like it is now.
No.
Or if they were to start against like USC, like a conference opponent, I think it would have been.
Colorado sucks.
I think Colorado's offense, if going against a lower tier defense, one that's not going to make you run the ball, then yeah, they're a good football team. They're fast, they're versatile, but they had less than 100 rushing yards, didn't they? But their running back had 4 receiving touchdowns.
I think didn't he have 2 rushing and 2 receiving or something like that?
Yeah, they got down to like the 1 a couple times and hit him with some rush yards. But Colorado had like 50 rush yards on the game. They rushed for 1.6 yards per carry. Colorado did.
Yeah. And I know their running back had over 100 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were aired out and they absolutely just shredded that TCU secondary, which looked terrible, by the way. I mean, the missed tackles, the miscommunication. TCU had looked like they had really slow linebackers.
I think
TCU's
the
defense
main-
overall did not look good.
I think the main thing for that Colorado team is, though, they have these really big players, they're star players, and they're a team that if they can play through those guys, then especially on offense, not really on defense, but if they can play through those guys, then they're going to be able to score points and at least compete. But if you can stop like Sanders and what's his name, Travis Hunter. If you can stop those guys, and I don't think that they're shit, but if they can play through those guys, then they're going to be a decent team.
Because
they're leaders and they're dogs.
Yeah.
I
saw that on the jersey. I had no idea.
I mean, if Colorado's going to be successful, it's going to be in a TCU-esque fashion. Their defense is not that good, but their offense will continue to put up points and score. But my reaction to this game was like everybody else, and not you guys, but like media and everybody, that this team is going to be really good. Deion is him. Everyone is talking about Colorado and Deion. And I didn't even get to watch this game, but just seeing the score. And so I think everybody just needs to pump the brakes on it. Just like you guys have said, we don't know how TCU really is. And they also still have a ton of transfers. So that culture and cohesion that they may have now after a big win, it could fall and really screw them in the long run. So
I'll preface it by saying Colorado really is shitty and they suck at football, but they also were so disciplined for being the week 1 team. They all met at the beginning of the month. They weren't doing stupid shit like the Huskers do, and that's what really pissed me off about the whole game. Is Deion Sanders turned it around right away, and with Rule, the thing is you got to wait 3 years. I don't want to wait 3 years.
Yeah, and we still got to give. I mean, Colorado their flowers there. I mean, they were 1-11 last year and terrible, and to come out and beat a TCU team. I mean,
Yeah,
good on them. But
and I don't know if I would necessarily give Deion the credit for their discipline. Obviously, his coaching style and the way that he carries himself is huge for that program. But I think the players at Colorado, like Colorado was 1-11 last year. They completely overhauled their roster. I think the players felt like they had something to prove, and so they came out wanting to do that, and they did it. Whereas Nebraska has been, bad statistically the last decade. There's just not that same fire to go out and just get it done, because it's the same thing every game.
That's a good point, Devin.
I think I'm good on the Colorado talk for now.
Yeah, we'll get into
Let me say one more thing.
Oh yeah,
I would just like to say thank you, Colorado, for after that first drive. I was like, okay, they're all right. Smack a little bet on the live money line, and they won me $70. So thank you, Colorado.
I also won, I think, $70 on Colorado, so that's pretty awesome.
We will
money on the Power Six.
We will talk more about the Nebraska versus Colorado game when we get into our preview too. So we'll be able to talk about that. We'll get these big ones out of the way, and then we can see if we have anything else to talk about. But we'll go to the Florida State over LSU game. So the Seminoles win that one 45-24 over LSU. And Florida State looked really good in that game. I think everything just came together right. But, man, their defense really surprised me. I thought they were really physical and fast on defense.
I didn't get to watch. I didn't get to watch this game, but I just want to put it out there: Florida State still a bad team.
Isaiah, that was the stupidest comment you could have made. If you didn't watch the game, don't comment on it. Florida State looks like a national championship contender. I will say it's the first game. It's so hard to say like, oh, this team's good, this team's bad. Because the first half, I thought, LSU is pretty good. Their quarterback's making good decisions. Their defense is physical. And then they decided to go home at halftime. Went scoreless and got absolutely smoked. Is LSU just not good this year? Are they overrated too, just like TCU? We don't know. I think Florida State is a good football team, though.
Yeah, Florida State, this was one of the few games I got to watch this week, and Florida State looked good. I mean, even the refs, I don't know about you guys, but I thought the refs were like riding some LSU meat that game. Like, it was bad. But no, I thought Florida State looked really good. LSU was supposed to be good this year. So I think they'll have a run for the ACC championship.
Yeah, completely agree. And that's a rebuild that took a while too. Mike Norvell in his first season went like 3-9, second season 5-7. Then last year they won 10 games, and now they're looking like they go to the playoffs. So it's taken a while. FSU fans wanted him out of there out of Tallahassee after year 2, but you can rebuild a program in many different ways. And Mike Norvell, a little bit longer, but boys, that team they look like they could compete for a national championship this year, which is really impressive. Is that all we got on that one? Last one I wanted to get to for sure before we dive into some of these other results that we could see if anyone has anything to say on. But Duke beating Clemson 28-7 on Monday night. Clemson made some mistakes, some turnovers in bad times, and Duke looked good. Riley Leonard looks good. That Duke team went a sneaky 9-3 in the regular season last year. I think a lot of people lost sight of that, and they showed it Monday night.
Yeah, Clemson looked terrible. It was just a bad pick in general for people who bet on them, including me. But
I won some money on that game. So that was good.
but their offense reminded me a lot of Iowa last year. That's every time they're getting something going, they do something just to hurt themselves. And it was just, I'm glad we
Dabo
got
made a comment about that, which I think was hilarious.
That was
Brian.
that was that was
that
fake.
was fake. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fake.
What?
That was like
what?
That was like AI
Yeah.
generated.
Yeah.
Dude, AI is crazy because
Dude.
I believe that shit.
I did too.
I
I
know
was like,
everyone was
oh, this is
believing it.
awesome. That was funny.
It would have been really funny. It was funny regardless, but it is fake. So
Oh, I bet he's thinking it though.
it's thinking
Yeah, they looked bad. They made stupid mistakes that Clemson typically doesn't make. Clemson's defense is usually stout. I don't know how they allowed 28 points to Duke, but like you said, Duke is sneaky good. I think weren't they just in the ACC championship a couple years ago?
no, I don't think Duke, no. I mean, like Pitt was, North Carolina, Wake Forest, some other weird teams, but I don't think Duke has been there.
The ACC is just a weird conference.
Yeah, this is Mike Elko's second year at Duke, and he's turned them around nicely. So they're looking good. Any other games you guys want to talk about? I know Illinois barely hang on against Toledo. Wyoming upset Texas Tech. Those were interesting.
I
Just wanted
was
to mention. Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Isaiah.
all right. I was gonna say, Ohio State kind of looks like they're in trouble there. Only they were, what was it, 30-point spread, and they didn't quite clear that. In the Indiana, I think at halftime it was tied. So there's some question marks around Ohio State there.
I was going to quickly mention Baylor getting blown out by Texas State was pretty fun to see.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was.
That was pretty cool.
That was. Yeah, Ohio State. Washington looked really, really good in that one. North Carolina won. The Big Ten West maybe looked a little struggling. Wisconsin did not get off to a hot start at all. Illinois barely beat Toledo. Purdue lost.
losing to Fresno State.
Iowa won by, what was it, 10 points over Utah State? How'd that look, Connor?
For that game, in the first 5 minutes, I thought Iowa was a lock for national champions. the quick big return and then a big touchdown pass, 3 and out, then another touchdown, then another 3 and out. I was like, holy shit, we're gonna win 80-0. Well, then we turned it around. We started trying to slow it down, running the ball a lot, and didn't really get anything going. And then McNamara's injury started acting up again, so he didn't look as good after he first started, but he looks pretty solid though, I'd say, for the first outing of the year. So as long as he can be healthy, I think that's good. My biggest takeaway though was like the O-line on running plays was not looking good, so that's something that needs a lot of work. But other than that, offense looked a lot better, even though they still only scored 24 points.
They had to stop at 24. They couldn't let the point tracker get up so high to give Brian a little break. I think he has to average 25 points a game now.
Yeah. There was a drop touchdown pass and then another one, or like 1 or 2 drop touchdown passes that could have been, but I think their offense looked a lot better though than years past.
Yeah. That Devin, is true though. Brian Ferentz points tracker updated is at 24 points. We had the first. He's 1 point below what he needs to hit, and that was against Utah State. Alarm.
Might be in trouble.
That's really all I think I got for most results, though. Did you guys see the AP poll came out recently? There was some shakeup. Iowa notably dropped out of the rankings, actually. Colorado
Clemson stayed in it.
Yeah, Clemson stayed in at 25. Colorado ranked at 22.
They must think TCU is really good to pull Colorado in there like that.
TCU still did have a little funny number next to their name when they beat them. So
yeah, I was gonna say Week 1,
Yeah.
you can have that.
I think the coaches poll and the AP poll try to take those with a grain of salt until the actual playoff rankings come out. I think Colorado's got a lot of hype behind them that if they won the game, they're going to be ranked no matter what. Shit, if they would have lost by 3, they might have snuck in at 25. Who knows?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they're ranked. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I am too.
I think if anything, they give them receiving votes. But
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that they're 22.
Yeah, but the poll just does not matter until we're a few weeks
Right.
into the season at least.
One of my takeaways is that Florida State, they went up 4 spots to number. They went from
Jumped
8
all the
to
way to
number
2.
No, they're
I
number
saw
4.
AP they were 2.
No.
Michigan's still number 2. Georgia 1, Michigan 2.
Alabama 3.
What
Florida
AP
State.
poll? What poll did I see?
That is a very good question.
Maybe power rankings.
What I was going to say though is that I think Florida State should be the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah,
Michigan.
they should have went up to number 1.
I mean, like, what are we basing these rankings off of at this point? Yes, Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, they all get the benefit of the doubt because they get the recruits and they're good year after year after year. So they can be 2, 3, and 4. Florida State has a legit dominant win over a team that we all know is still going to be at least a top 15, really probably a top 10. I still think LSU is going to be a good team. Why should Florida State not be number 1?
That's a good question.
Is it because Georgia beat UT Martin by about the same amount that Florida State beat LSU? Is it because Michigan beat East Carolina 30-3 by 27 points, about the same margin that Florida State beat LSU? Again, what are we doing? Like, these teams, you're number 1. Georgia, you're number 1. You automatically get it no matter what. Why do we play the freaking games at this point? Florida State's number 1 team in the country. They deserve it.
Yeah, like if you took an NFL team like that and they started the year ranked off 8 and they had a great win like that, they're going number 1 for the power rankings or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's a good point, Max. It's a top 10 matchup and they beat them pretty easy-handedly. They should definitely take the number 1 spot.
yes, that's my rant of the week.
I think they should do away with rankings until the college football playoff ranking comes out in whatever week that they do it. Because this whole you recruited well, you're going to be ranked number 1 and you're going to play buttercup schools, but we're not going to move you is stupid. Because there's teams that are tested early, like Florida State, Utah, thinking Florida was going to be, good, and we realized that Graham Mertz is still bad. Clemson getting beat by Duke. Like the rankings just doesn't make sense to have them this early on, especially when they're returning or not returning players every year.
Yeah, Florida State should be the number 1 team. They have the best win so far. They looked like the best team against the best opponent so far. With that though, let's get into our tank and bank. Week 1, tanks and banks. Do we say both or do we just start with like one of them?
Tank.
Like just start with the tank. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it simple with both mine actually, but starting with the tank. I got Clemson Monday night. That was bad. Dabo tank.
Yeah, that's a good tank. My tank is going to be LSU. They got throttled by Florida State.
My tank is Nebraska, just because I still feel the same pain that I did on Friday morning. It hasn't went away. This game really, really hurt me.
My tank. I'm going to say the same thing as Headley. The Nebraska defense gave the offense way too many chances to win that football game, and they could not convert. It's the same shit, different day. They got to figure out how to be, competitive on both sides of the ball. You can't have the defense making stops just for the offense to turn it right back over. And then honorable mention, TCU. laughingstock college football right now. Big tank.
My tank is Clemson. I'm with Max. They got reverse covered in prime time. What is that, Clemson?
They got
Wait.
destroyed.
Good point. Reverse cover. That's embarrassing.
I bet on Clemson.
Me too.
I did too.
I parlayed the Duke plus 12 in the under. That was nice.
Nice, Max. We're
Nice.
happy for you, man.
I would have loved some input.
I
But I
didn't
got-
see the, I didn't see your guys' text
I
until like
got
20 minutes
Headley.
later.
I got Headley who said we got minus 12.5 over here for Clemson.
Again, Brad, I'm just picking Keno numbers. That's what I'm doing.
It was a lock before the game started.
Oh man. My tank is actually it's Mike Elko screaming at the linebacker for targeting, and then the ball staying with or going to Duke. This is Mike Elko right now is a Bo Pelini Hothead Award candidate in my mind for his little action there.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Honorable mention is obviously Clemson. So
Is that? Oh yeah, we got to
Dude,
everything.
Mike
Okay.
Echo does look like a bratwurst eating hothead, man. This guy is perfect for the award right now.
He could be the front runner. Mike Elko, number one in the standings right now for the Hyatt Award.
probably one of one.
My bank for this week. Again, keeping it simple. I'm not overthinking it. Florida State. That's a bank, man. Best win of the weekend. They look good. They look poised for, if they can keep it all together for a playoff run.
My bank is going to be Fresno State, my underdog of the week last week. Honorable mention though is going to be Florida State.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I got a draft going right now. I was just, my bad. My bank of the week. I hate to do it. It's Colorado. It's Colorado.
They did win you money.
They are front runner for national champs as we speak.
Yeah, they should be number one.
Also, bank of the week is taking a quarterback early.
Did you
I got-
draft Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I got Josh Allen early.
Oh,
I like that. I like that pick.
For my bank, I got Florida State. They dominated and they got the best win right now in college football. So good bank. Good way to start the season for them.
my bank is going to be fading my locks for the year because I looked back at it from last year and I have got the worst record out of everybody. So if you want to make easy money, fade me. And I'm also going to be doing more research so I can save my embarrassment.
My bank and like Headley, I hate to do it, but I'm going to give it to Travis Hunter specifically. You got to respect the conditioning that man has put in to be able to play both sides of the ball at such a high level. Should have had, 150 some receiving yards and a touchdown, but he dropped that one. Still 119 receiving yards, had a touchdown saving interception. And at the end of the game, he said he was ready for more, not tired. So Nebraska's got to find a way to slow that man down.
Headley, did you have something to say?
No, I was thinking about it and I decided not to.
Okay, that's okay. Well, with that, Tank and Bank's done. Reaction's done. Let's get into our preview. Couple to look at because we do have a lot of predictions where I'm sure we'll talk about all these games a little bit as well. Texas, Alabama, number 11 at number 3. This one's in Tuscaloosa. Alabama's a touchdown favorite right now. Rematch from last season, which was a phenomenal game. This one's a night game in Tuscaloosa. Devin, are you as high on the Longhorns again this year?
Look for Quinn Ewer's revenge game, baby.
Oh, here we
Horns
go.
up. Horns up. I think if he stays healthy, they got a shot. They really do. The biggest thing is going to be finding somebody to replace the production that Bijan had last year. Obviously, he was their best player. if they could find someone to put up yards in that respect, I think they can do it. I'm hoping
Right.
for a good one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Bijan get injured last year during the game?
It was Quinn Ewers left in the second
Oh,
quarter.
that's right, because Cade Hudson? Or
It was Hudson Card.
Card.
Yeah.
He came in.
Yep.
Okay.
But then they also had that absolutely terrible
Roughing the passer
in the end zone.
That
Yeah,
was
that was
god
bad.
awful.
That was bad.
So
Yeah, they almost
they don't
had
have
that
the
game.
golden child that is Bryce Young anymore, but it is Alabama football.
It's
And
gonna be a
so
great game.
I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
I was
Yeah,
telling
really good.
Max earlier this week that if Texas and Alabama weren't playing, maybe we could sneak in a little college game day in Boulder. But
I think Nebraska would have had to win.
I think even if Nebraska won college game day, it was going to Texas, Alabama.
well, yeah, no.
If there was no Texas,
there was
Alabama,
no Texas,
Oh,
Alabama
yeah.
this week.
Yes.
I would say it would maybe go to Iowa State.
I will say, I think that the Colorado-Nebraska game will actually outdo Texas and Alabama in TV viewership this week.
What is the Alabama Texas game? 11 o'clock start time? Or is
No,
it
Alabama
2
Texas is
2:30?
6 p.m. night game.
Oh, so I'm gonna be watching it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're damn right. We're gonna be
That's
watching
gonna be
it.
fun.
Be watching it in Boulder.
Yeah. Well, it'll be 5 o'clock there then.
Mm-hmm.
5 o'clock start time. But yeah, I guess that's a decent segue into the Nebraska-Colorado preview. Is that I think Nebraska-Colorado game is going to be the most watched college football game of the season so far. I think it's going to outdo LSU, FSU. I think it's going to outdo Alabama, Texas. I think it will be top 5 most watched college football games of the entire year, which is freaking incredible. It's also incredible because this game has the most bets on it of all football games this week, college and NFL. It's outdoing NFL games in terms of betting. That never happens. And there was someone from a bet online I saw on Twitter. They said they wouldn't be surprised if it becomes the most bet on regular season college football game of all time.
People really like that spread.
I don't know why, because
Is
it's
it moving more?
changed. It's at 3.5 right now, I believe, isn't it?
On FanDuel, a couple hours ago, it was 2.5.
This morning I checked and it was 3.
At like 5 o'clock, I saw it was 2.5.
It's
Yeah,
2 and
2.5.
it's back down to 2.5 Colorado. But it's crazy to think that Nebraska opened as like what, a 7.5 point favorite.
10.
Well, in the offseason, yeah.
So my thing with this too is the media and everybody is saying go bet Colorado spread, and I did too.
Fade the public.
Fade the public. But you want to know what? It hasn't moved, and it hasn't moved that much. And we know from
We're seeing
past
reverse line
experience,
movement.
when that line is getting bet on so much and it does not move, Vegas knows something. Vegas knows something. So my tip to everybody, don't fucking bet on this game. Nobody knows.
Stay as far away from
so-
this game as
Go
possible.
so far away from this game.
On Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember, maybe it was Sunday. Circa Sports, who hasn't had a line on the game over the offseason or anything like that. In fact, I think FanDuel was the only sports book that had a line on it preseason. Circa Sports opened their line at -5 Colorado, and they've now come down to 3.5, 3, 2.5. That is reverse line movement. Like 93% of the money is on Colorado, 93%, and it is the most bet college football game of the weekend, and some are saying maybe of all time. Why on earth would Vegas not move that line to like 10, 11, 12? Vegas doesn't lose money. That is a money-making business. So we talked about this last year, Brad, the reverse line movement. The one game I remember specifically was LSU versus Arkansas. LSU was in Fayetteville. They were a top 10 team. Arkansas was unranked, I believe, and that line opened at a suspicious like 5.5 for LSU. Everyone started to hammer it. It closed at -3.5 LSU. Reverse line movement. Vegas was fading the public. Arkansas didn't win the game, but they covered. So Vegas won big time. So again, we've seen this before. That is just so suspicious to me.
Yeah, if you're just looking at scores and didn't watch Nebraska or Colorado play, and you saw Colorado beat TCU and Nebraska losing to Minnesota, it makes perfect sense. You're going and throwing your money on it.
Yeah, which is what I exactly did this week. Was I watched Nebraska and I saw how bad the offense was, and then I saw the score of Colorado and TCU without actually like looking into it and hearing everybody who has actually fucking watched the game. I was like, oh, Colorado -2.5, and then
I mean,
took a step back, a little bit of Kool-Aid. Now we're good.
I mean that dude can't spin it. Sanders,
Yeah.
you get
I did see a couple
520 yards
highlights.
at any level. That is against any team. That is just crazy.
The guy
Yeah.
can
That's
definitely
absolutely
throw the ball.
But I don't think that's the expectation that he's going to go out and do that every game.
No,
It is
and
now.
I think it just showcases how bad TCU's defense was.
Mhm.
He just got the luck of the draw. His Colorado debut, he played probably one of the worst defenses in college football, and he exploited it. It's
That's what we're going to have to be seeing.
right. I'm excited to see how he does against Nebraska's secondary. I think Nebraska's got one of their better secondaries in recent years. But I'm also curious to see how he plays against, other great teams like Utah, USC, Oregon, and how he plays there. Because then maybe, if he plays well in those games, maybe you start to raise the okay, he may be a Heisman candidate.
One thing is too is Colorado's run defense wasn't good at all. We obviously saw that they allowed, what was it, 262 on the ground, 7.1 yards per carry, to a TCU team that again lost a lot on offense. They lost their top 2 running backs. They lost some linemen. And Nebraska, if there was any strength in their offense, it was that rush game, 181 yards rushing against Minnesota. Is pretty damn good. And Jeff Sims was good with his legs. And I like what I saw from Ramir and Gabe Ervin. So I think if Nebraska, the strategy of this game for the Huskers has to just be, you're going to have to air it out sometimes, right? You can't be that one-dimensional, but it's going to be ground and pound, run a lot, run the clock. The new clock rules are going to work in Nebraska's favor for this game. Get a first down, run that thing down to 5 seconds left on the play clock, and see if you can get 6-7 yards of carry and just run the entire drive, 15 play, 8-minute drive. Punch that thing in for a touchdown.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree.
The biggest thing is going to be time of possession. I think if they can keep Colorado's offense off the field and Travis Hunter on the field, it's gonna then translate to his ability to produce on the offensive side of the ball. And I think Nebraska just needs to control that aspect. Colorado's offense is explosive. They need to keep it off of the field.
we have to protect the fucking ball too.
Yes.
We can't
Yes.
have bad fumbles in terrible positions. No bad interceptions. Jeff Sims can't just be staring down one guy. We can't screw our defense and have us turn it over at the 50, and then Colorado just has 40 yards to go. Like that's what screws us. That is exactly what screws us.
Yes.
And then we also, on top of that, we have to limit Colorado's explosive plays. I mean, I think they had 4 guys with 100+ receiving yards, which is impressive. It won't happen this game. A quarterback doesn't just go every week throwing 550 yards or something. Like, that's just crazy. But yeah, we got to protect the ball on offense.
That'll be the first key to the game for every game until they prove to us otherwise. They have to win the turnover battle.
Yeah, I was going to say that is, I mean, even without what happened in that first game, you could say the same thing, but especially with what happened in the first game, the number one key to this game is turnovers. Just don't turn the fucking ball over, for God's sakes. Don't give their offense any easier than it already needs to be for them. They got playmakers. Like, Shadir Sanders looked really good. Travis Hunter looked really good. There's no denying that. Don't give them easy field position. Don't give them more possessions. Don't turn the ball over. And then, Brad, to your point about preventing explosive pass plays, I mentioned the stat earlier. Last year, TCU's defense was 115th in the country at preventing explosive pass plays. Last year, Nebraska's defense was not great. 77th in the country in scoring defense, below average. But the pass defense was 68th. It was okay. If there was one thing they were good at, it was preventing explosive pass plays. 34th in the country, the Nebraska defense was at preventing explosive pass plays. Tony White's Syracuse defense last year, 14th in the country in passing defense, 7th in the nation at preventing explosive pass plays. And he's here this year. He's running that 3-3-5. He's going to mix up the looks. And again, we can tell by those stats from Nebraska last year, the strength of this team is that secondary. They're going to have to come through. And I think they can. It's going to be tough. Biggest challenge yet. You have to go to work.
I think that's why Shedeur thrives. I think he likes to throw that deep ball. If our D line can get in there and rattle him a couple of times, he's gonna have to completely change his style of play, and he's gonna have to look for those quick passes, and that'll help us prevent those explosive plays as well.
Yeah, I think Isaiah, I think if Nebraska wins this game, it's gonna be a shootout. I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be punch for punch. But if Colorado wins, it's because our offense just could not get shit going. And we had stupid turnovers and stupid penalties and everything in between.
Yep.
I was going to kind of piggyback off what Max said earlier. Colorado's run defense did not look good at all in that entire game.
Yep.
If we can play Big Ten smash mouth football against them, run the ball, run the clock, that's Nebraska's best chance of winning this game. Give your defense time on the sideline to get some rest, because we can't always prevent those big plays. They have some standout players. I think our defense is leaps and bounds bigger than last year, but at the end of the day, we can't stop every single one of those big plays from happening. I can see there being one or two of those happening. But we just got to make sure our defense, keep them as fresh as possible, run the ball, protect it. And I think we can, like Brad just said, it's going to be a shootout if Nebraska comes out with the win in this game. It's not going to be an easy game for us if we're going to win.
Yeah, there tons of missed tackles for that Colorado defense too. Especially, they had some guys like shying away from the ball. Travis Hunter, he's an athlete, but he's 6'1", 185. Get him in space against a 6 foot 220 Gabe Ervin. I like Gabe Ervin's chances. So
that was another thing that I think I noticed as well too, is that he kind of shies away from tackling as well, because he wants to he wants to be available on the offense.
Yep. Is that good for a little preview action there?
Yeah,
probably.
I say
okay. Real quick, game of the week for me, it's Texas, Alabama.
Yep,
I would agree.
It's just an awesome matchup.
Real quick, not to backtrack, but Connor, I want to hear Iowa State. Should I bet the under? And what does Iowa need to do to score some points?
I'm betting the under.
You shouldn't.
You don't think so?
Brian Ferentz offense.
I know your
What's
players
it at,
are betting the
36?
under.
It's like 36.
It's like 36 and a half. Or
I
something
think
like
when I got
That's
it,
that's an
low.
Army
36
Navy.
and a half.
That's an Army
It's
Navy
so
line.
low. And from what I saw, Iowa's offense does look better. I think they could have scored more points. They put in their backup like way earlier than you normally would in a game like that, which I think is because of McNamara's injury. If McNamara is healthy and plays the whole game, I think Iowa can score points this year. He was just a way more accurate version of Petrus, and I think he ran the show pretty well.
How many?
I don't know about Iowa State though, so that's what it's gonna. Iowa's defense didn't look as good though as last year, so
We'll just have to call them up and ask them what bets they're placing.
Yeah, I was gonna make a comment.
Yeah,
How many
that's the
players
cycle
get
to knock it.
suspended after this game?
But just because the under in every Iowa game was a lock last year, we can't just assume that it's going to be like that this year. But
I mean, it's a pretty
Iowa
safe
State does have a
assumption.
good defense. Iowa State had a top 10 defense last year. So, last thing before we get into predictions and such, Power 5 teams playing at Group of 5 this year. A couple of these show up in our predictions. First one, most intriguing. Awesome matchup. Number 20 Ole Miss at number 24 Tulane. That is going to be a rocking atmosphere in Tulane. That game's sold out. Only a 30,000 seat stadium. It'll be a fun atmosphere. UCF, they're a Power 5 team for the first time this year, so this counts. They're playing at the Blue Field in Boise State. Fun matchup. Houston, again, first year as a Power 5 team. They're playing at Rice. Rice University is located in Houston, though, so I imagine that will be a home field advantage for Houston, yes.
Well,
and then
Luke McCaffrey.
Oh, true. And then finally, UCLA playing at San Diego State. Good West Coast matchup. But with that, we'll get into our locks, our dogs, our predictions. Our special guest for this week is here. It is Redmond Reed. What's going on, Redmond?
What's going on? A long time no see for a lot of you guys. So, it's been
Thank
a
God.
bit.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, last time I've been on here, I was told that wasn't really cussing allowed. So I will calm it down a little bit. You know,
All
for
right,
the kids
no,
at
it's
home.
fine. Go ahead.
Say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Fuck them kids, brother. Easy enough.
All of our sponsors
Demonetized.
Last year,
Dude, all our sponsors are gonna hate this.
Oh, dude,
last
they
year we were
dropped
trying
me.
to stick to a one cuss word per episode like limit, and then Redmond comes in and just like F this, F that, this team's
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, we were trying to do one F-bomb each an episode, and then Redmond just ran away with all of ours.
Yeah, PG-13 no longer rated R.
No longer.
Yeah.
Hey, did your
TV
hat say
mature.
Redmond?
No, it's yeah. I wear a hat with my own name
I
on.
thought you were doing a cartoon character thing. He's wearing a Redmond hat on Redmond.
Yeah, pretty goofy fucking character. So
All right, well, we have a big slate this week, 15 games, and of course we have our locks and dogs. Brad, you want to give a quick update on sort of maybe how things went last week and where we're at?
Yeah, I absolutely can. So I will start with the score prediction record from last week alone right now. So Max went 8-5. Isaiah, I got to give you your flowers.
Great week.
I got to
Good
do
job,
it.
Isaiah.
Yeah, I mean,
Good job.
you did
Best
great.
week probably of your life.
I
Well
ran
done.
away last week.
You did great. So Isaiah went 11-2, and then Headley.
Oh, brother.
We're fine. We're fine. Bounce back.
What did I do?
So Headley went 4-9.
Yeah, how's it feel?
How's
it feel?
4-9.
Headley went 4-9.
Oh, plenty of time
Lucas,
to bounce
oh,
back.
plenty of time. We got so much season. Lucas went 6-7. So Redmond, that's your
yeah, Gappa.
gotta
Yeah,
take her
fuck
to-
out of here. 6-7. Yeah, easy winning record, easily.
Connor went 9-4. I went 7-6, and then Devin went 8-5. Locks. Max hit his lock of over 57.5 Washington Boise State.
Let's go.
Connor hit his lock of over 51.5 Bama Tennessee State. And then Devin hit his lock of TCU Colorado over 63. Not gonna lie, that was pretty good.
It's the Big 12.
I didn't
12.
think Colorado was even gonna score as much as they did, obviously.
So I figured that TCU was going to put up most of that by themselves.
Oh, fair.
They almost kind of did too. So
They almost kind of did.
Over half.
And then we only had one underdog hit, which was Fresno State +4. So with our new underdog rules, Isaiah is in the lead with 4 points.
Isaiah's on the board.
Let's go, baby.
Through the season right now, Max the last 3 weeks. Max is 13-7. Isaiah is 15-5, so he's leading. Headley is 9-11. Never forget. Connor
in peace.
14-6. I'm 11-9, and then Devin is 10-10.
At 500, baby.
Big bounce
Our,
back.
our locks and stuff. We've only had just the last week, so it's the one for Max, Connor, and Devin, and then the one underdog for Isaiah. And then Lucas missed both his lock and underdog of Purdue -4. They obviously lost, and then Northwestern +6.5 was bold, to say the least.
Yeah.
But shout out Gappa for joining last week, and now Redmond.
Yeah,
luck
I
to you,
won't.
brother.
I won't do a shit at 6-7. Trust me.
And
we-
missing both the lock and
We,
underdog.
yeah,
Yeah.
we want you to hit your lock and dog too.
Oh well, easy enough. I mean,
Yeah,
what else?
that's
What else you
so
want?
easy.
What else you want?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you see the order I sent on the chat?
Yep. I got it all written down. I'm set to
All
go.
right.
Hey, this
All
isn't
right.
his first rodeo, Brad. He
Nah,
knows.
he's
Yeah,
been here
come on.
twice.
First rodeo.
He's-
This is
What-
this
hey,
is
what-
third.
Champ
Well,
week,
now
he's-
champ week participant. Champ week
Now
participant.
this is our
Yeah.
third time with Redmond.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
man.
pretty good at this. I'm pretty good. So
He's the most viewed guest now.
Dumb Mahomes. All right.
Dumb home. Hey,
Dumb
watch
Mahomes.
out. Watch out.
Okay, let's get into it here. Like we normally do, let's start off with our lock this week. My lock, if you want to win some money this week, you're going to bet the Temple Rutgers under 45.5 points. They're not going to score that many points. Rutgers has a good defense. Temple had a really good defense last year and a bottom, like 100-something ranked offense. I'm honestly kind of surprised this number is 45.5. I think it opened at 48. You might not even be able to get it at 45.5. It's dropping quick. Bet it.
My lock of the week is Utah -7 over Baylor. Baylor's a bad football team. They got ran out of the stadium last week. Utah looked really good against Florida. So if you want to win some money, you better hit Utah at -7.
If you want to win some money, do the opposite of what I'm about to say. You're going to want to bet Iowa -4.
I like it.
That's a lock. That's a lock.
I love the
I,
jinx.
I respect it.
Sure.
I respect it.
Sure. I'm joining Isaiah. Isaiah, it updated to -8 for Utah, and I'm hopping on the wagon. Baylor's O-line sucks. Can't protect shit. Utah will just kill them offensively. Utah -8 easily.
Even if Cam Rising's not playing. Easily.
All right. I got Oregon -6.5. It's a lock. They put up 81 points last week. 81. They can score the ball.
Who did they play last week?
Portland.
Was
But
Jesus.
They did put up
Bo Nix.
81 points.
That's
He's
insane.
gonna be
The
a
School of
Heisman candidate
Mines.
this year. So
Wait, who did they play this week?
why can't
Texas
I'm gonna
Tech.
drop
It's in the
Texas Tech.
it's in the predictions.
The Red Raiders.
Okay. Hold on. I just got to look at something. Okay, cool. So my lock is going to be Oklahoma State -3.5. So go and bet Arizona State to cover that. But my reasoning to this is because Oklahoma State, they didn't look as good last week. So I think they'll bounce back against a historically bad football program of Arizona State. So, yeah, we'll just go with that.
Late night.
The Utah Baylor game is a popular choice for the locks this week, except I'm not betting the spread. I'm betting the over at 47.5. I think Utah puts most of those points up by themselves. It just doesn't make sense to go the other way around. I think the over is a lock.
Yeah, I think Utah is probably going to put up all of those points.
Especially, is Cam Rising playing? Do we know
They don't-
status?
I don't think they need Cam Rising for this game.
I don't think he's quite back yet this week, but I think he's still day to day.
I'm still comfortable with that lock.
Did-
Go bet it.
Didn't they play the third string quarterback last week too? Because the second string got
I think
hurt?
he was. No, I think he was more so like a wildcat type option.
Gotcha. Because I know he got in the game.
Yeah, he went. He came in and ran a couple read options.
Okay.
All right. Good locks. Can't wait to see all those turn out. Now for the dog this week. My dog, I'm going with another roughly touchdown spread here. Cal +6.5 late night game. They're at home facing Auburn. Cal is they looked a lot better in week one. They were favored by like 7 over North Texas. They won that game like 50-something to 20-something. And Hugh Freeze, I think, is going to have a longer turnaround at Auburn than just in this second week. So I think Cal's got a chance.
You're talking to the dog champion now. If you want
Jesus.
Jesus
Hey.
fucking Christ.
if you want to lock for the dog, take Washington State this week +6.5 over Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not looking like a typical Wisconsin team. So yeah, Washington State +6.5.
My dog of the week, I've got a suspicion that I'm not the only one with it. Looking at you, Devin. I got Texas 7-point dog.
Yeah.
Okay. My dog of the week. I'm going with Delora Mahomes plus 9.5 against Mississippi State. Arizona plus 9.5. Mahomes. Unbelievable. They beat I don't know who last week, 38-3.
UCLA.
Yeah, easily. I witnessed God on the field, the second coming of Christ.
He's never let you down.
Oh yeah, and this guy's a dog. You're plus 9.5. Easily, we're gonna cover that and maybe win.
Well, they got to win.
Well, is that? Are we doing
Oh
spread?
yeah, Redmond. So yeah, hey.
Mahomes for the win. Then I'm sticking with it.
The dog
I'm
has to
backing up.
win for it to count now.
Yeah, so
Triple down. I'm tripling down on Dumb Mahomes. Yeah.
so last year you could cover, but this year is whatever the point spread is, that's how many points you get if your underdog wins.
Okay. You see
Hey,
how
you're gonna be in the lead.
you see how I'm not budging? Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
I know I'm gonna go bet them right
Yeah.
now, dude.
Laura.
Lord, Dumb Mahomes.
All right, for my dog, I got Tulane, the Green Wave, beating Ole Miss -7. Mark it up. It's gonna happen.
It's Ole Miss year.
At home in front of 30,000. They're gonna be rocking.
It will
To be
be.
honest. When I was looking at my dog, I forgot who they were playing, and now I know why I picked them. Illinois plus 3.5 against Kansas. Book it.
Easy choice.
Book it.
I'm hopping on Connor's back here. I got Tulane plus 7. Ole Miss bad football team. Isaiah doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's go Green Wave.
Very nice. I like the dogs are really fun this year. We got a good variety in there. Anywhere from 3.5 to 9.5. Gonna be fun to watch those. But with that, we'll get into our picks. We're picking these straight up, not against the spread, just straight up picks. We start with a Friday night game. This is gonna be a really fun non-conference matchup. Friday night. We'll be watching it in Boulder. Illinois at Kansas. I'm gonna take Kansas because I think Illinois is surprisingly worse than I thought they'd be this year, especially on defense. They gave up 28 to Toledo, so give me Kansas.
I'd like to give a special shout out to Brett Bielema for the Sweat Award this year. He was
up there.
He was up there with Mel Tucker this week. But I am also going to go Jayhawks here. They looked pretty good against Missouri State.
So Kansas is 1 out of 7 right now for my future this year. I got them at 6.5. I got them winning this week, getting me another step closer to my 100 schmeckles.
Okay. Headley. Whatever fucking Headley just said. Yeah, I'm taking Kansas too. I'll take the shekels. Whatever the fuck you're just saying. I'm taking Kansas as well.
Yeah, give me the Schmeckles, the Kansas Jayhawks. I'm also on that wave.
My underdog, give me the Fighting Illini.
I'm backing Brad. I'm going the Fighting Illini.
Hey, what's the over-under for Redmond F-bombs this episode?
I
A
think
little too late for that.
I think it was
Well,
set at like 15.5.
Well, hey, jeez, I hit the over on that.
First
5 minutes.
100%.
Yeah.
That was a lock.
Lock of the week.
Next game, we got a 10th ranked Notre Dame team traveling to NC State. Really intriguing matchup, and I'm not going to overthink it. I think Sam Hartman is that guy. Give me the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, give me Sam Hartman and the Irish.
The Irish looked good last week. I'm taking them this week.
Taking Irish as well.
Irish.
Connor, could we get a little jig from you? Can we get a little jig from you, bud? Do it for me. Do it for me. This is my pick. Like Lee Corso. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey.
Let's go
Shout
Notre
out
Dame, baby.
Power
Notre
6.
Dame.
Shout out Power 6.
Let's go. Unanimous Fighting Irish. Let's go, baby.
Love the jinx. Love the Power 6 curse.
They lost.
Power
they
6
lost.
curse.
GG.
We might get another Power 6 curse because it seems like the boys are liking Utah. 12th ranked Utah traveling at Baylor. Bears just had an embarrassing loss, so I'm going to take the Utes. Utah look good.
The Bears haven't been good since Matt Rule was there, so we got the Utes here.
I got Utes.
Utes.
I got the Utes as well.
Utah's gonna handle Baylor pretty easily.
Yeah, Utah's blowing them out of the water.
Carson
Also
James.
Isaiah Baylor won in 2021.
We don't remember that.
It was with Matt Rule's developed players.
Oh, but he
Clearly.
wasn't there.
Clearly. Next, the tough schedule continues for Purdue at Virginia Tech. The Hokies are -3, and I do have Virginia Tech. Their defense looked pretty good, and I don't think Purdue's quite there under first-year head coach Ryan Walters. Hokies.
Yeah, I'm also going Hokies here just because Purdue gave up a pretty good lead last week to Fresno State. Headley.
Sorry, I'm trying to film out on the thing, but I'm using the app on my phone. Not a good app, Google Sheets. What pick are we on, man?
Purdue, Virginia Tech.
Okay, I got Purdue
Yeah,
because
brother.
I always back the Big Ten.
I'll pick Virginia Tech here.
Hold on. You say you back the Big Ten and then vote for Kansas to win?
Hop on that Fighting Illini train.
That's business.
He is going to win 100
Well, and-
schmeckles.
Hey,
Headley's got a lot of other Big Ten picks in here, so he's allowed a couple. But,
He needs a bounce
You
back
can't
from
pick.
last
You
week.
can't pick every Big Ten team. They're not all going to win, but most of them are.
All the
I got-
Pac-12 teams did.
I got
Sorry, go
Purdue. They're just going to win. They're going to bounce back this week from that loss against Fresno State.
No rhyme or reason to this bad boy, but Purdue.
Give me the Boilermakers.
Next, Ole Miss and Tulane. Like I said, going to be a fun one to watch. Fun atmosphere in Tulane. Ranked matchup. I have to go Ole Miss just because I still think they're the better team. I like Lane Kiffin, but I might as well just be rooting against this pick because I wouldn't mind seeing Tulane come out with the win here.
I've said it for a while. It's Ole Miss's year. Give me the Rebels.
Yeah, I think Tulane had a good year last year, but there's just some parts of the country where it means more, and Ole Miss is in that part of the country, so I'm taking Ole Miss.
Yeah, a bunch of stupid people are saying their picks. I get it. I'm gonna go Tulane here.
Exactly, Redmond. You're right. Headley doesn't know what he's talking about. He either says it means more in the SEC or it's Big Ten, so we don't believe him.
Yeah, conflicting interests, huh? Oh,
we're
it's
going
business. Oh,
Yeah, we're going Green Wave here. Back in my underdog of the week. Chuck it down for a W. We'll eat that shit up.
Yeah, I like Ole Miss here, but I would bet Tulane +7. I think it will be close, and it's going to be a really good game.
I'm also backing my underdog. I got Tulane, the Green Wave. It's not Ole Miss year. This ain't nothing different. They're still the same Ole Miss.
By the way, Headley's the only one of the picks with a negative record, so we'll just put that out there right now.
Me and Devin are pretty close.
Down 500.
Yeah, there's a wise man,
taking-
Matt Rule, who said it matters how you play in the fourth quarter.
Hey, you should
Okay.
just
You
listen to
went to the fourth quarter of picks.
the guy that's leading.
You will never do that again.
I hope Isaiah just crumbles.
This is exactly like Defender Cup when you
I
won
should have
one
never
time.
said the records. Should have been like, no, we're good.
Hey,
All right.
We'll
We can
see.
move on.
Next,
We'll see.
Texas A&M at Miami. I don't know if you guys saw. Miami's fan base is embarrassing. They can't sell out this game, and they're now offering buy one get one for what is supposed to be a huge game. This was a disgustingly terrible game last year. It was like 9-6 late in the game. But Texas A&M's new offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino, they looked a little better. So give me the Aggies.
This was a tough pick. I'm just gonna go with Vegas here. I've got Texas A&M.
I got Texas A&M as well because never mind.
Never mind. I got the Aggies.
Yeah, I got the Aggies. I don't know shit about Miami, so Aggies.
Headley, could you tell me what it means for our boys down south?
There are parts of the country where the game of pigskin just means more, Brad.
That's right. No, that's right. Yeah. No, give me Texas A&M. Aggie up, baby.
It's
By the way-
hurricane season in Miami, baby. Let's go Canes.
Only
No,
one
that was
person
not a
taking Miami.
jab at the hurricane going on down there.
Yeah, people.
Hurricane even
Come
that
on,
bad?
people are losing their homes.
Oh,
It wouldn't be my first jab.
Oh, okay, all right. Sure.
we don't need to talk about it. We might get canceled.
I think we already are.
Next, our spread pick. Biggest spread of the weekend. Ball State at #1 Georgia. Bulldogs favored by 42 points. Normally I'd be worried that is far too many points to cover, but I'm just going to say yes because I said yes the last 2 weeks and it hasn't worked. If I switch this week, Georgia will suddenly cover that. So I just have to stick with it and say Georgia's going to absolutely pummel Ball State.
I think 42 points is way too many points for the Bulldogs to win by, so I'm gonna say no here.
I think Ball State comes in and plays a very sound game. They only lose by 41.
Yeah, I agree with that. If it's 40.5, Georgia covers easily. But I'm taking Ball State covering.
I get the Bulldog cover.
I think Ball State will cover this. 42 is an incredible amount to win by. But Oregon 181-7, so it can happen.
Georgia is not Oregon. I'm going, they're not covering. There's no
You're right.
shot.
You're right. That duck.
I think that's more just Portland State. It's not Ball State.
But Middle Tennessee or UT Tennessee Martin?
Oh, UT Martin. I mean,
UT Martin.
that was a bad matchup for Georgia. Let's be real.
They do get one of those a year. Little non-con.
Yeah. Last year's Kent State
Yep.
almost cost me a bet. Next, El Assico rivalry in the state of Iowa. Iowa -4 at Iowa State. And I just got to take Iowa. I don't have confidence in either of these teams playing good football, except good defense maybe, but Iowa wins.
I'm going Iowa State here. I want a rematch of last year, and I want Iowa to go back to back, or Iowa State to go back to back.
So with Iowa, they are 1 out of 9 for the wins I need to get my dollars. So I think I get another one this week, and it's also my lock. Iowa wins easily.
I'll have to agree with Headley. I think Iowa will dominate easily. That -4 is pretty nice.
You love agreeing with me. Think for yourself.
Hey, shut up, clown. I don't want to hear it.
We're the Schmeckles. Give me the Hawks. We're the Schmecks.
Yeah, I'm going Iowa.
Iowa.
Connor, you got a score prediction on that game?
I didn't until now.
Yeah, we need one.
I'll make it up right now. Iowa 31-17.
31.
The average of the Brian Ferentz point tracker is going to be upped a little.
About to skyrocket.
Cade's going to be healthy. He's going to be slinging it.
Slime. Next, 13 ranked Oregon favored by 6.5 at Texas Tech. I think that's a night game. It's gonna be a really good atmosphere down in Lubbock, even after their upset. But Bo Nix is really good. Oregon wins.
Yeah, Oregon win here. Give me the quack.
I'm also taking the quack.
I am not taking the quack. Give me Texas Tech.
It's the lock of the week. Oregon's winning by 15. Give me the Ducks, the quack.
Yeah. You don't put up 81 points one week and then lose the next. Give me Oregon.
Until you just said that, Brad. But yeah, yep.
I was using the same reasoning. Put your house on Oregon.
Dude, real quick, I feel bad for that duck. He had to do so many push-ups.
That
Oh,
dude chiseled.
brother.
We all know it was Goku under that mask.
Actually, I heard it was Jared.
Jared's
Jay
not an
Schmidt?
Oregon Duck
Troy,
anymore.
he hates the Ducks. He hates
Yeah,
them.
he's not a
man.
Duck anymore.
Really?
He's a Skir,
Yeah.
baby. He's a Skir.
He's a Husker fan.
All right, we love to see it.
He's a real
Roll
fan.
Carters.
He
Go,
doesn't
Clyde, what
have
do
a
you
lot
think
of
about that?
homer picks.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it. Do we get all? Is everyone in for that one?
Yep.
Okay. Next, UCF traveling to the Blue Field in Boise State. This is one of those classic ones where I could just say it's a coin flip, to be honest. But I'm gonna pick Central Florida.
Yeah, I'm going Vegas here. They know something, and I don't. Give me Central Florida.
I also got Central Florida.
UCF.
Boise with my underdog of the week last week did not pay off. They got dominated. But we're going back. Give me Boise on the blue field.
We back, baby. Give me Boise State.
Give me Usif. I want the Golden Knights.
Now Wisconsin, favored by 6.5, traveling at Washington State. Fun little out of conference game here. Should be a good atmosphere in Pullman. Their dying days of being in the Power Five. They're going to cherish it, and they're going to win, and they're going to storm the field. Go Wazoo.
Max, I like the pick. It's my underdog of the week, but I'm gonna have to go Wisconsin here.
Yeah, I noticed that you did an underdog. Are you just hedging your bets?
Yeah, I'm hedging my bets.
He
Thought
does
you wanted
it
to be
every
the
week.
underdog. Thought you wanted to be the underdog champ.
Yeah.
Dude, you're such a coward. That's such a coward move.
That's a coward.
Honestly,
It is a
it's
coward move.
disgraceful. It really is.
Make it a fraud.
Oh my
Make it a fraud.
god.
This is the same guy that's like,
Dude.
Ole Miss is winning the SEC championship, but they're not beating out Georgia or Alabama for the college football playoff.
No
Hey,
respect
hedging.
for the sport, man. No
Hedging.
respect for the
Is
sport.
that grounds of removing him from the podcast? I think
might
so.
have to
Redmond,
be.
Redmond, you've been here 3 times. You're in.
Hey, bye. See
Hey,
you
who-
guys there.
Who's
Oh, see
leading?
ya.
Hey, all I want to say, who's leading
Bye-bye.
the picks and the
Bye-bye.
back points? Come on.
Not after this week.
Guess we'll find out.
One's got to go.
I got Wisconsin.
Wisco.
Give me
Yeah, sorry.
Wazoo.
Wisconsin's not losing to Wazoo 2 years in a row. Give me Wisconsin.
Give me those
badge,
Wisconsin.
the
Give me
badge.
those Wisconsin cheese curds, baby. Let's go.
I got the badge.
Next, we got Auburn. Late night. This is a 9:30 Central game. Starting getting late night action, which is always very fun. Auburn playing at Cal. I have Cal as my underdog. So you know what that means. I'm fucking hedging. Give me Auburn to win. I either win a pick or I win my underdog. You guys are crazy.
Hey,
Max
you
was
guys all
staying
gave
so
shit to me.
quiet.
Come on.
Max was
I
saying
know
so
everyone's
quiet.
talking
during
about
the
Isaiah. I'm
other-
like, bro,
Super
I'm doing this
disgraceful.
exact
It's
same
super
thing.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Grow a pair and just
No
fucking.
respect for the game. I guess we
Hey,
got to
Cal.
get Lucas. Both our
Oh.
power 1 and 2 are gone now. That's
Hey,
But
good
I'm
luck.
pretty sure didn't we all hedge at some point last year? Didn't we all do
Yes.
this?
probably.
I'm like, I love this play. This
Yeah.
smart play.
So stupid.
One of them's got to give. You know.
No respect for the game, man.
All right.
No
It's
respect.
gonna end in a tie.
I'm picking the team with an identity crisis. Are they the War Eagle or are they the Tigers? I'm going Auburn.
I got War Eagle. Go Tigers.
Give me Auburn.
No, actually, I just thought of something. I'm switching my bet. I am 0-2 in betting on Tigers this year. I'm gonna take whoever's not Auburn.
Cal.
I'm gonna take Cal.
That's
That
a
means
good
Auburn's
pick.
winning. Go to the bank.
Dude, I
Go
lost
Auburn.
money tragically on Clemson and LSU. I'm not doing this Tiger game anymore.
Yeah, that was in the same week too.
I got Tiger.
Well, it's been 1 week.
Oh, there's week 0.
Johnny Tiger.
Yeah, Auburn.
I also got Auburn.
Another late night game coming at you. Oklahoma State traveling to the desert. Cowboys favored by 3.5. It's a closer spread than I thought it'd be. I know Oklahoma State's not supposed to be that great this year, but Utah State, Arizona State just won by 3 points to an FCS school. So give me Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy.
Yep. Give me Okie State and the Cowboys.
I got Oklahoma State. Literally just switched my pick because I saw everybody else had Oklahoma State.
5 or 6 years.
Oklahoma State.
Cares. Yeah, Okie State, but probably not gonna hit now.
Yeah,
Spurs. Spurs.
underdog of the week here. Oklahoma State, as they say, hedging is for the gardeners. So, not around these parts.
Brad, you should hedge the shit out of that.
Arizona State's a fucking lock. I told you guys before. Bade me.
I also have Oklahoma State. Man, this whole Power Six curse thing, we got to start thinking about our picks, guys. TCU lost. We all picked TCU, and Clemson lost. But Penn State did win, and Oregon State did win. But I think those were no-brainers.
We get a couple curses a week.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're all no-brainers?
At least
That's
one.
one.
This is the curse. I think ASU's gonna win the game now.
The house on Isaiah.
All right. Now to the second biggest game of the week, obviously. Number 11, Texas at number 3, Alabama. Rematch from last year. This is going to be an awesome game to watch. It's going to be a great atmosphere in Tuscaloosa because they barely get out of bed for most games anymore because they're going to dominate them. So they actually get to go to exciting game. So good for Alabama fans. But I got the Crimson Tide. They're too strong still. Nick Saban is mad.
Alabama.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Alabama too. Kidding! I'm going Texas because that's my underdog.
Double down.
Hedging for the Gardeners. I'm still going Bama, though.
I'm going Bama. Fuck Redmond, but I'm going Bama. It was almost my lock of the week. I think they're gonna kick their ass.
I'm going Bama here, and I don't know. I can see them covering that 7-point spread.
Saying.
Headley's obviously the
sure.
only intelligent one in this podcast because Texas is winning this football game. Last year was a fluke. Quinn Ewers stays healthy. Texas wins this football game. Go Longhorns.
Last but not least, the most bet on game of the week. Big noon kickoff's going to be there. It's going to be the most watched game of the week. Most hype game. We didn't even talk about the ticket prices. The cheapest ticket price for that Bama Texas game, that's the second most expensive. You can get into that game for about $180. You can't get into this game for less than $400 right now. Just absolutely insane what is going on. Going to be a raucous atmosphere. Yeah. Can't believe what's going on here. But Nebraska at number 22, Colorado. Buffalo's favored by 3. But the Skurs get it done. That defense comes through against Dion fraud. Huskers win 27-23.
We're going to Boulder this week, and I'm sticking with my pick here. This is business. I'm picking Colorado 42-21. I think we're gonna get smoked.
That is insane.
Yeah, I'm genuinely kind of stressing about this game. It's going to be a hostile environment. I'm not sure if I'm more scared of us winning or us losing, but I got the Huskers winning 30-29. It's going to be a fun one. It is going to be a fun game. I have not been this excited for a game, and I can't even remember.
Massive game.
Since last week. I was pretty excited for last week.
I am way more excited for this game.
Watching Colorado last week, I was so confident in Colorado last week. I put $200 on them to win at 7 a.m. last week against CCU. In my mind, Colorado absolutely kills us by at least 28, I would say. But in some fashion, Nebraska always covers though. So I will take Nebraska covering that 3.5, 20-17, somehow, some way. Exciting game, but Colorado still wins.
I got Dion 28-20.
I'm gonna go Nebraska 31-28. Everybody's riding us off. We ain't riding back. We coming.
I think Colorado was absolutely terrified going into the game against TCU that they pulled out everything in their playbook. They emptied it. They showed us how good this Colorado team could be and what their plan is. Nebraska knows how to stop it. Nebraska's got the right tools and the right personnel, the right players to stop it. I think it's going to be a ground and pound game. It's going to be a fast game. Nebraska wins 28-24.
This bias is showing through. We will get killed somehow, some way. The best we got is Nebraska covering the spread because why not? It's been a trend. We're going to keep the trend.
Redmond, you and all the other fans that don't know anything and all the other media are saying that, and it's just crazy. Like that is they beat TCU by 3 points. With the media and what everyone is saying like that, I think that we're heading in the wrong direction on Friday. We need to be heading south on I-29. We're playing the goddamn fucking Kansas City Chiefs on Saturday, according to everyone. We're playing Patrick motherfucking Mahomes on Saturday, according to the media. We have no chance.
Dolores not playing in Colorado.
No chance in hell. Colorado beat TCU by 3 points. 100th ranked defense in the country. Nebraska has no chance. Shedeur is the second coming of Christ, which is also the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. No chance in hell Nebraska can win this game. Deion, Nick Saban, who? I want Deion. Deion's the GOAT. What the fuck are we talking about?
Dude,
let me break it down.
Max, wait, Max. I wish I had a soundboard because there's like 8 drops just in that. Right there.
Dude, we might get killed. We might. We might kill them. It might be a close game. We have no idea. But there's no reason to just be like 28-point win for Colorado like that. Like the media, are there no experts left out there? 3-point win against a team that ranked 115th in the country in explosive pass defense last year.
Why are you looking at last year when it's literally an entirely new team? They
lost even more players.
They revamped with 30 new players. You cannot look at last year and think that is the same roster any which way.
It's not for Colorado.
You have Travis Hunter, who might be the second coming of Christ on both the offensive and defensive end, at corner and wide receiver. That has to be an athletic freak. And
I think he's stoppable.
Right. Okay, fine. Stoppable. But then you have Sid the Sloth at Nebraska QB, Jeff Sims, who throws 3 picks against Minnesota. Yeah. This guy could see literally 270 degrees. Yeah. Sid the Sloth will be throwing more picks to Colorado defense. Yeah, easily.
Dude, that Colorado defense is bad though.
Here's the way I look at it.
They couldn't tackle. They couldn't cover. Against the TCU offense that returned no one from their top 10 ranked offense from last year.
Mm-hmm. The way I look at it, say Nebraska goes and wins this football game. The headline for the rest of the weekend is not going to be talking about how good this Nebraska program is. It's going to talk about, did we overlook how bad Colorado actually is? Did we give them too much after beating TCU? Did we give TCU too much? They're not even going to be talking about Nebraska. Yeah, they'll be like, Nebraska played a great game. They beat Colorado, yada yada yada. But then it's going to go straight back to, did we give them too much? And then
Week 1 overreactions are a real
Boulder
thing.
will explode. Like, we might have to party in Lafayette.
Last season, Florida, as we know, beat a top 10 Utah team in the Swamp week 1. Florida jumped to number 12 in the rankings. They went 6-6 on the year after that week 1 win. Week 1 overreactions happen.
I agree with you on all that. It's just my worry is Deion he's just different. He seems so different, and his speeches just make me want to run through a wall.
You're falling for it.
I think
always been a
great
speaker.
I think Deion is an asshole. In his post-game press conference to reporters, he called out Ed Werder and said, "I saw what you wrote. You're not a believer." And then asked him if he's a believer. He didn't answer. And then Deion said, next question, didn't answer his question. Ed Werder has never written a sports article in his life. He's not a writer. And he said that after fact. He's like, I have no idea what Deion was talking about. And he just called him out for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Werder doesn't even cover college football. And he was in the press conference room. Deion's a dick. He also has nothing to do with the success of that offense. Their offensive coordinator is the former head coach at Kent State. They got a head coach at Kent State who is doing very well to come over and coordinate that Colorado offense. And he's doing well.
Deion loves Deion.
Yeah.
Just an ass.
And he loves his son. And his second son, Travis Hunter. That's all he'll talk about, and he'll say
His
that
third son on defense, but yeah.
Dude, it's just
he
I
said
can't
he
imagine
said in this
beyond
post
movie.
game
I'd have
that
to see
Travis
it
Hunter
first.
was like his second son.
He did say that.
This is my other son. He didn't even mention his actual other son.
Yeah, he did it. Damn. Hey, he's on defense. He's struggling. He's struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All we can all agree. Fuck the tiny baby buffs. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red.
Let's get going. Let's get her going.
For this game, biggest stage Nebraska's going to be on for a game, and maybe our entire lifetime, actually, really.
In a couple
So-
weeks.
Probably our entire
Once they
life.
win.
Yeah.
Once they win 3 in a row and they get game day to come to Lincoln, then that'll be the biggest game again. But
So are you guys concerned at all about the hostility in the stadium? Is that crossed your guys' mind?
I won't be at the stadium. Good luck.
Well, you're still.
I'll be
gonna
in the sea of
there.
red in the parking lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be in the sea of red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Not like they're not out assholes outside the stadium.
We'll be 12 minutes away in a Husker tailgate.
Yeah.
We'll be protected.
we'll be fine. You guys might be screwed.
To answer
I'll be
your
okay.
question, Headley, yes.
Yeah. You
It's-
guys might need to
I'm-
bring riot gear.
I'm interested to see, one, how much red is truly there, and two, how much of assholes Buffalo fans are actually.
Like, everybody I've talked to, I've not had one positive review
I
of
haven't either.
Boulder.
No, I haven't either.
Well,
No.
So I'm just expecting to get heckled like I've never been heckled before in my life.
Yeah, what it's going to be is I'm not like worried, like we're not going to get jumped, but we are going.
I would not write that off.
Devin's
Well,
been
unless,
there, man.
unless you say something really stupid, but otherwise there's gonna
Which
be a lot
they
of
are
Husker fans
Boulder.
there.
Hey,
We're not
if
gonna
you-
be
if
with
you were driving your
Isaiah, so
car,
that's
if
good.
if you were driving your car and had Nebraska colors, I would not be surprised if you see a little on the side of it. You know, a little keying action on the side of the car.
Yeah,
You
they're
know.
bad.
Good
I
thing
think
we are
we're
Ubering to the
Why
stadium.
Uber?
we're
Right.
we're
So
Ubering.
key
We're
to
going
Ubers. Yeah.
Everywhere.
we're going to hear a lot of fuck you, fuck Nebraska, go back to Nebraska. You guys suck. We're gonna see the middle finger over under 50 times. I saw that all when I went to Michigan State, and it was all students. The adults at Michigan State were actually very nice. When Ryan and I got out of our cars, we had a nice lady in her tailgate immediately offers food. And then we get near the stadium and the students were absolute assholes. And I feel like it's going to do the same thing in Colorado. They're going to be assholes.
I was at the game in 2019, and I can say that be prepared to be spit on. People getting in your face. I had broken up a fight because some kid was drunk and getting in the face of an older guy after the game.
You
And
got
that was when
spit on?
Nebraska was up 17-0 at halftime. So you can imagine how bad
Wait,
they were
you
letting
got
us hear.
spit on.
Yeah. Colorado
Walk me
fans are
through that.
not pleasant.
You
Walk me through that getting
you
spit on.
never said that before. I'm calling cap.
No, honestly, dude, they're horrible fans.
Yeah,
Dude, walk
we know that.
me
We know
through
they're
getting spit on.
horrible.
How'd that go
fans.
down? What'd you say?
Well,
What'd you do?
it's just a whole group of people. So you're walking around, you're like, what the fuck is that going behind me? It just felt like you were getting rained
So
on.
it could have been jizz. You don't know.
It could have been jizz.
All right.
Wait, where did this happen?
to
Where did
move
this happen?
Forward and
Where did
end
this
this
happen? Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a really good time, though. I'm super excited.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will.
You couldn't imagine a bigger atmosphere for college football, and we're going to be there. The entire country is going to be watching, so we'll see. And we might get embarrassed, but we also might win. I don't know. Like that's my thing. Is we have no idea. And there's people out there that are acting like they know. They don't know. Nobody knows. So anyway,
And
Can't
I
wait,
will
though.
say I will say my prediction is for Colorado, but I do have a shirt. I don't know how you can see it, but there's a piece of corn sticking up this Buffalo's ass. I will be wearing to the
God
Colorado
damn
game.
right, brother.
Fucking go.
It
God
does say
damn right.
it does say the corn is coming, so I will be repping.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
This guy can wear it too because he's a big dude.
He's a big dude. Yeah, no. Redmond can
I
do
wouldn't
it.
wear that.
Redmond can do it. No, no.
No, if I wore that, I'd be scared for my life.
How much do
that's
you wear
why,
red?
That's why I'm at the tailgate. That's why I'm at Husker tailgating.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Everybody's
He
gonna
doesn't-
love
He
that
doesn't
shirt
want
in
to
the
find any
tailgate.
fans. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to find any Boulder fans. He's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm good.
To answer
No,
your
driving,
question
I'm
too,
driving straight back.
fans, I don't think it's going to be the 75% contingent in the stadium that we saw in 2019, but I think it'll be 40 to 50% Husker fans in the stadium. So we will be very well represented. like we usually are.
Well, I think we should go ahead and end the episode there. I want to give a huge shout out to Redmond coming back to this show, second year in a row. Again, his third time on the show. You're pretty much power 7 if you ask me at this point.
Pretty much. Just make it official. How about that? So
Hey,
let's change the name.
we might have to if you go 15-0 this week.
Okay, all right.
So-
Let's put that on a sticker or something. So
Well, once again, thanks Redmond for joining us. Exciting week of college football ahead of us. A lot of games to keep your eye on. To all of you fans traveling to watch your teams this week, stay safe. All right. As always, go Big Red, and we're signing off.
Go Hawks.